Hi, and welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm super excited because I think I've finished out the Kingdom line now. I got some boxes in, so over the next few weeks, with maybe some figures in between, we'll be finishing out the Kingdom line. And first, we're taking a look at Transformers Generations WFC Cybertron Kingdom Tigatron. And Tigatron, I am super pumped to have in the collection finally. I never had one originally. And he is gorgeous. I really like. I mean, it's white, white plastic. It's a warm off-white plastic that I think captures that look without having to need a ton of paint. The black stripes here are wonderful. I think in the maybe the CG photos or somewhere stock photos, I was worried about how the gradient was going to turn out in the paint application, but here it looks awesome. He does come with his gut gun, which we can, break apart here. But there it is, and it does have guts, and it unfortunately doesn't have a good place to slot inside. And I kind of get it, but it would be nice if the toy was designed for this to be an internal storage mechanism. But other than that, I mean, again, we've got a lovely painted tiger face. If you look at my eyes, he's a little bit cross-eyed. This one's pointing that way, this one's pointing straight ahead. I do wish, we do have this opening mouth, I do wish we have a nice pink nose and some black whiskers. I wish we had a tongue that was picked out in pink, especially because the teeth are white, the mouth is white. It just looks a little plain without that. We get a little bit of teal here. And yeah, we can talk about this. My biggest complaint about the figure is that I cannot get this chest tab. I feel like I've got everything else. I've tried the hands internally in a couple different configurations. I just can't seem to get this piece closed. And I feel like it might be a little bit of tolerance on a hinge joint back here, but also my tab, I feel like, doesn't want to go into that slot. Maybe it's a little on the thick side on my figure. And I don't believe I have this problem on my other Tigatron, the Mutant Tigatron. But yeah, I mean, he's a tiger, he's nice and posable. We've gone through all this on Mutant Tigatron already, but the mouth opens and closes, no rotation in the head because of transformation, which makes sense. Full 360 on his tiger shoulder. It's got a nice butterfly ball joint here, or a pin joint, and then a ball socket doing that thing. We do get a tiger leg that can bend backwards, mostly due to transformation. It can bend this far forwards. We've got another pin joint here and another ball joint. So again, if you're trying to get your tiger pose like he's coming after something ready to pounce, you can get those paws nice and wide like so, which I like a lot. On the back legs, again, we've got the robot hip up here, which does break up the sculpt a bit. The tiger hip is kind of back here more, and it can go out so far. We've got a nice deep bend here, and a backwards bend here, and another ball joint at the feet. So you can get him nice into plenty of tiger pouncing poses. And he hides his robot mode pretty dang well. He's got, a little bit of green teal here, a little bit of teal here, and then on the back of his legs. But other than that, I mean, this is a pretty great looking tiger. And the complaint that I have is this one, and then the other, and it's a minor one. I do wish there was a little more articulation in the tail. It can waggle a little bit. But if there had been a ball joint back here so that this whole thing could go up and down. I feel like tails are really good at displaying emotion on animals. And just a little more articulation in the tail in the tiger mode would have been nice. So let's see him next to some other figures. First, here is Masterpiece MP50 Tigatron. And again, you can see that they are going for two very different things. This is a high-end Masterpiece Tigatron that looks like he walked off the screen. And that is a cartoony tiger face, but it looks awesome. We've got, just some wonderful detailing all across here. But again, this is like, let's get as close to the CGI model as possible. This is, let's get as close to a realistic tiger as possible. And there's some, like, maybe could have been more mass down here, things like that. But I like that both of these represent the idea of Tigatron in very different ways. And they both, I mean, yes, it's the same character, but I like to pretend the Kingdom characters are their own thing, not necessarily like strictly the Beast Wars version. So they both absolutely have places on my shelf. And you can see kind of the difference in mass here. And this really just like now I really, really, really want a Masterpiece Air Razor to go with Tigatron. Speaking of Air Razor, we have the lovely couple to show off. And I am incredibly happy that I have both of these on my shelf now. The two of them, they're so cute together. I mean, they had a bit of a tragic story, but I just loved their relationship. I loved the fact that they were so supportive and comforting of each other. Even when they became Tigerhawk, like it felt like a continuation of their storyline rather than just like a crazy alien thing that happened to them. We do have our big cat, so let's take a look at our big cat next to our little cat. And there they are together. And again, I love that this isn't like a repaint the way Tigatron and Cheetor were in the original Beast Wars toy line. I love that Tigatron got the respect he's due, and I love the way they look next to each other. That is just fantastic. Oh, that makes me real happy. That is awesome. And I do think if you're careful, you can do the you can do the Air Razor riding on top of Tigatron thing. I guess let's get our whole cast out here. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at our Mutant Tigatron. Yeah, so here, this is what I was talking about. On my Mutant version, this tabs in just fine, and I just can't seem to get it closed on this version. So I'm assuming it's not something to do with the mold. This might just be a one-off quality control issue that I'm having. But yeah, in general, it seemed like the Mutant Tigatron just came together a little more tightly. But yeah, here's how they look together. And I like having both tigers. I know he was never in the show, but I like having both tigers in my collection. Just them hanging out with the Season 1 cast. We'll bring in... It's... Like, this is an incredible feeling for me as a Beast Wars fan. Being able to have the whole crew together. And I'm running through my head. Am I missing anyone? I mean, Black Widow kind of joins later on. But yeah, having the whole crew here like this is just wonderful. It makes me really, really happy that they're together. They look like the versions. I mean, they look heavily inspired by... It's really the fact that, like, Dinobot's colors are right, things like that. They look heavily inspired by the versions that we saw on the screen. It's a wonderful feeling to see them all together like this. It's really, really fantastic. All right, we'll get these guys out of here. And before we transform Tigatron, it's time to announce our winner. We had the Behold Galvatron giveaway. So we're going to announce that winner. All right, it's time to announce the winner of the Transformers... I don't even know what this is. It's just called Behold Galvatron Unicron Companion Pack. Is it like War for Cybertron? Is it, whatever. Anyway, it's time to announce the winner of the Transformers Behold Galvatron. And this is, again, just the Galvatron with his cannon, his guns... and the Matrix, not the Unicron pieces. I'm keeping those. But announcing the winner of that, and here we go. The question of the day was to see which character you would have liked to have seen reformatted into one of Unicron's heralds. And there were some really cool answers in here, like Octane was a cool one. Ironhide reformat would be kind of neat. Yeah, there were definitely some good ones here. Someone mentioned like Dinobot and Black Arachnia, like as shown in the Kingdom cards. If they did those as remolds, that would be neat. Jetfire is a really cool idea. So yeah, I appreciate everyone's insights. And let's see who our winner is. So we had 25 winners. These were all the comments that wanted to be entered in the giveaway. Equals ran between 1 and 25. And our winner is number... took a minute. Number 22. 22 is Colin Sweeney 82. Colin Sweeney said Chromia from War for Cybertron, because see her becoming an unstoppable assassin. So congratulations, Colin Sweeney 82. If you go to our YouTube About page, you can find all our different contact information on social media. Join our Discord, hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, however you want to get in touch. Reach out to me on Discord. I'm Sieta Shami, hashtag 5060
9, I think, 5069. And it's all on the YouTube About page. And when you reach out to me privately, let me know what address you'd like Galvatron to be shipped out to, and he'll get out to you hopefully next week sometime. Congratulations again, and keep an eye out for next week's video. I'll be traveling, but next week's video will be another giveaway.
Alright, and here is Tigatron in robot mode, and he looks fantastic. Again, we saw this mold before with Mutant Tigatron, but the coloring here is that classic Beast Wars Tigatron coloring. We've got that classic Beast Wars Tigatron head sculpt, and it looks really, really nice. I will say, I believe on the Mutant Tigatron video I mentioned that I wondered if the head sculpt for the mutant version was limiting its articulation. Here, I guess it's not. It's just the way it's set up. You don't get a ton of wiggle. It's almost like a swivel joint, and it looks like, I guess it is. If we look back here, it's a swivel joint on a peg, which is unfortunate. I feel like that could have been a ball socket joint. I'm surprised it wasn't. The head looks nice, but like I said, it can really just turn side to side. We get the same articulation we did before. We don't quite get 360 out of this joint, not for any reason back here, but because of the way his, I guess they're like shoulder intakes. They've got little like sculpting inside that wing piece, which I really like. But yeah, so it's basically 180 on the joint, which in most circumstances is probably what you need. We do get a nice double jointed biceps here. Bicep swivel, wrist swivel for his gun and his tail sword, which he can hold. We don't have waist articulation. No, we do. I stand corrected. We do have waist articulation, which is nice, especially considering how much transformation happens in the waist. He can do the splits, and it's the full Van Damme. We got less than 90 degree on the knee, as we know. And then we've got an ankle tilt as well as forward and back ankle motion. So you can get him in kind of a running pose if that's something that you're trying to go for, where he's charging the enemy. And yeah, we get a lot more teal in this version, this mode. The teal on his shins is nice and shiny paint. We saw that in the Tiger mold mode. I keep mixing up mode and mold, don't I? And then the rest is plastic teal, except for what's on his face. And yeah, he looks good. He's a big boy. I think it's an easy recommendation, especially because these days I think he's on sale. I saw a place, I picked mine up and it was like $15 or something. So $15 for a Kingdom Voyager is a great deal because all the Voyagers are pretty good. And Tigatron here, being who he is an even better deal because of how wonderful he is. So let's get him compared next to some bots, shall we? So first thing, let's bring in Mutant Tigatron. And here they are next to each other. And yeah, again, we can see kind of that similar sculpt used, but not exactly the same. I was surprised. The way the mutant sculpt works with these like hollow sections back here, I kind of assumed that they were using the back of his head, but I don't think they are, just based on the way certain things line up with that molding. I'm pretty sure this is like a totally new head sculpt. And yeah, it's a shame that the attachment area for those head sculpts is a peg instead of a ball socket joint. But other than that, I mean, they're both great molds here. I love the paint differences. They feel like very different characters. Even the teal, I feel like, is a little lighter here than it is on here. So it's neat to see them together. Here is Kingdom Tigatron versus the Masterpiece. And I've got his surprised face on. But here is how they look together. And yeah, I mean, again, we have two very different iterations of the character. I have a soft spot for Tigatron, and they're both going to stay in my collection. But yeah, they look fantastic, each in their own way. I will say, like, looking at them next to each other, it does note a couple things to me. I do wish that maybe these feet could have folded in, so we just had the teal. But other than that, I mean, for, you know, a 15, I guess Voyagers at retail are $30. $30 compared to, I don't remember how much this was, like 100 something. That, you know, you get a great toy at both price ranges, which is really nice. Here's Tigatron next to Airazor, and they look wonderful together. I will say, I feel like just because of how, like, characterful Airazor's head is, it really looks like it's just the CGI model from the cartoon in my hand. I kind of wish that Tigatron maybe had a slightly different expression. I mean, he was a very stoic character and all that, but the expression here seems maybe just a little on the plain side. Maybe it could have been open-mouthed or something. Here is our big cat next to our little cat. And yeah, they look great together. That makes me really, really happy seeing them. And you can see kind of, yeah, these are deluxes. Tigatron in this mode definitely feels more like a Voyager. But I guess he still kind of feels like a little on the smaller side. I know Kingdom Voyagers and Leaders kind of scaled down a bit, aside from it felt like Kingdom Megatron was like the big one. But yeah, so there's how they look, and now we'll grab the rest of the crew. And yeah, this makes me very, very happy. It's great to have them all together. The whole crew in robot mode in one spot on my shelf makes me really, really happy. And Tigatron's an easy recommendation, especially go online. It seems like the stores are discounting him because the Legacy line's coming out. So if you can find him and you can only pay 15 bucks for him, it's the easiest recommendation in the world. Really solid transformation, really nice posability in Tiger mode, really nice posability in robot mode, looks really great in both modes. It's, again, the minor, like, QC thing with me, I still couldn't understand what was happening wrong with this, like, tab up here. But other than that, just a really great Tiger mode, a really fun robot, and I'm really glad to have him on my shelf. Hopefully we get more Beast Wars and Legacy. I know we got that teaser for the Inferno in that Cybertron Metroplex box art. So hopefully we get Inferno and we can finish out both crews, and then maybe we can move on to Season 2. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks everyone for watching, and catch you all on the next one. Bye!